Now, the games I mentioned before got really good press and a lot of people love these games. But the game I'm about to show you now actually didn't get that good of a press, but so many people enjoyed this game, I sort of just decided to listen to them over the critics. And that game is Nier. And you know, I gotta agree with some of the critics. You know, Nier has a ton of flaws. Is the game a technical marvel? No. Is the gameplay, you know, really deep and involving? Not really. It's sort of simple and easy. Is the game just, you know, do you repeat environments? Yes. Are the side quests repetitive? Yes. I'll agree with the critics on that. But what I'll agree on the users is the fact that the game is still fun despite all its flaws. The story is really well done. The characters are great. They're really weird, but in a good way. The way they interact is just really entertaining. You'll just love it. And you know, I did mention the gameplay was simple and a bit easy, but it is still fun in the end. The world is fun to explore. Again, the game does mix certain different genres, and it surprisingly works really well. Again, you know, I do think that this game is not for everyone. If you're the type of gamer who's like, let me look at all the little flaws of this game, and you know, if it's not technical marvel, you know, it has repetitive side quests, you know, you're not, you know, if you're that kind of guy, you're probably not gonna like Nier. If you're the type of guy who can brush out problems, even though they are sort of moderate at times, you know, I think you'll have a great time with this game. You know, you'll just enjoy the world that the developers gave us, and you'll enjoy the characters and story as well. Again, it's a game that many critics gave like 5 or 6 out of 10, but in my opinion, I'd probably give this game like an 8 out of 10. It's a really great game. It's also just, it's a great RPG to start for beginners. If this game does sound interesting to you, like at all, I highly recommend you check it out. Super cheap right now, and really, I think that Nier is one of the games that you should see if it's your kind of game. Now, the next game I'm going to show you actually sort of got the same critical reception of Nier. Not as bad, but still wasn't that great. And that is Growlancer Wayfarer of Time. And again, you know, what made me get this game, I wanted to try it out. It sounded really interesting, despite the fact that critics sort of gave it negative reviews. I heard the game had like multiple endings, 40 plus endings. I've heard. I heard that like each dialogue choice you make was like you had at least 3 to 5 dialogue choices for your main character, which is really awesome since you don't see too many JRPGs with this non-linear style of storytelling. So I really want to check this game out. The things that really sort of like kind of turned me away is I heard it's a strategy RPG, and while I do like strategy RPGs, I feel that, you know, sometimes they have too much micromanaging. It really sort of turns me off at times, but you know, I decided to go with my gut to get this game since I knew it wasn't going to be sold at a GameStop, you know, in a month or 2 from now. So got this game for like $25. I played it. I was hooked. This game was a whole ton of fun. It's really addictive. Again, I really like the game for its like non-linear way of storytelling. I love the fact that you get to like customize, the customization options for your characters is really great as well. The game is technically a strategy RPG, but actually plays more like a regular RPG with strategy RPG battles mixed in, if that really makes any sense. But you know, it pulls it off really well. The story is really good. While the graphics are not really amazing, they're all like 2D sprites. It still looks nice for what it is. I really like the art in the game as well. I first didn't really enjoy the art, but like it really grew on me. The battles are really strategic, really fun. I really don't have that much to complain about this game. I really don't know why this game's got such bad scores, considering I believe this game was like also a budget price game for the PSP. I'm really surprised why these critics got bad score. I really can't find too much flaws with this game. Yeah, the game is sort of stretched out a bit. You know, there's a bit, you know, grinding here or there, and some of the dungeon design is not that great, but like, I really highly recommend this game. I really want to get Growlancer Generations. This game just a ton of fun. I really was super addicted to it. Again, a great surprise. Highly recommend it. If you own a PSP, I really hope that you try out Growlancer Wayfarer of Time. Now, moving along from JRPGs, now it's time to talk about a couple Western RPG games that really surprised me. And the first one I want to talk about is actually Divinity 2. And Divinity 2 is, again, a game that, again, you know, I really was really skeptical about, but I still just went with my gut feeling and bought this game. The reason why is because I heard the first version of Divinity 2 was really bad, but surprisingly, it always sort of interested me. The game always looked like Fable combined with Oblivion, and I just always interested me. And then when I heard they made an improved version, I heard many people who tried out the game said they really enjoyed it. It was very like old school Western RPG, styled of game. I just went for it, and besides, it came with an art book and a soundtrack for only $40 new. I'm like, all right, so I bought the game with my gut feeling, and this game was a ton of fun. It really was what I expected. It was like a combination between Fable and Oblivion. I love the fact that it borrows sort of the best elements of Fable. Has all these characters are really charming. They're really yield me a lot of really funny, unique characters. Some of the quests are really awesome. Some of them borrow a lot from like old 80s, like 80s style movies, such as like Indiana Jones. I believe one mission was called like the Temple of Doom. It was just a fun mission as well. The game is a bit on the hard side, but it's not that demanding. The only problem I had was that the ending was extremely hard. The last fight was just so unfair, but like throughout the game, I had a ton of fun. You get to transform into a dragon during this game. You know how Skyrim was hyped up that you could fight dragons? Well, in this game, you can actually turn into a dragon. Again, not as high quality as you would expect from Skyrim, but still, it was really a unique feature. The fact that you could just jump off a cliff, turn into a dragon, and just fly around the game's world. The game is divided into sections, isn't like one like complete world like in Skyrim or Oblivion, but the sections in this game are really huge. You'll find a ton of secrets. You get your own place. It's sort of like your own palace, sort of like in Suikoden, how you get your own castle. You get something just like that. You have your own servants. You get to customize it. Your character is highly customizable. You get your own like summoned pet to fight for you. The game's voice acting is great. The game's soundtrack is great. Really, the only problems I had was that I felt difficulty spikes were a bit too high. I also wish that there was sort of, not really a map marker, but like something that points you to your quest. Some of these quests are kind of vague, and you really don't know where to go at times, so you kind of just ignore it, which is a real shame, since some of these quests are really, really well done. And, again, just highly underrated game. Try to check this game out. I believe the price is super cheap. If you do own a PC, a good gaming PC, I highly recommend you try the PC version, because it'll probably be better. It'll probably just look better and just control better in general. But still, if you own an Xbox, still try this version out. Great game. Highly recommend it. I think it's one of the best RPGs on the 360 in my opinion. Now, the last game I want to talk about is actually my least liked game out of the bunch that I'm talking about, but still, I think it's interesting to talk about because the game is actually the infamous Two Human. That game that was really hyped up. No one really it didn't really live up to anyone's expectations. It was just a huge disappointment. Got mediocre, like lukewarm scores. But I still enjoyed the game. Like, I really wasn't that hyped for the game to begin with. I really wasn't that interested, but I rented it. I really enjoyed it. And then I found a copy for $10 later on, and I decided to buy it. I don't, to be honest, it's hard to say why this game is really that great. I just was really addicted to the loot system. I just love getting all the loot in the game. I really did enjoy the story, believe it or not. Even though the cutscenes weren't like that crazy good, I still enjoyed. I thought the story was really interesting. Got a few good twists and turns. The ending is again a cliffhanger, which was supposed to be for like an intended trilogy, but of course that'll never happen. But still, I think it was really because of the loot system that really got me into the game. And the unique world. I really like the fact that they combine Norse mythology with sort of the cybernetic, the cyberpunk world, and they combine them together. It was it makes a very interesting world, and I really loved exploring the main hub of the game, which was the city. Again, I enjoyed this game. Again, it was my least liked game out of the bunch, but I still enjoyed it. It's not perfect. Of course, the game has its flaws. Again, it can be repetitive in certain areas. When you die, you have to wait for this long, cut scene with the Valkyrie just coming down and pick you up really slowly, and that does kind of get annoying. But still, I don't know why. I really enjoyed this game. I felt the combat was kind of fun. I really enjoyed the loot system, but I just really enjoyed the world and storyline most of all. Again, it's not a game that I would say it's highly recommended, but I would say, give this game a chance. Who knows? Maybe you'll like it, maybe you'll not. The game's just $10. Just go for it. Now, I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video. It really does mean a lot. Again, if you're offended by anything I said of, Final Fantasy 12 or the fact that I like Two Human, again, please feel free to say whatever you feel like in the comment section below. Again, You know, this is just my opinion. I'm sure your opinion's completely different. Again, there are way more games that surprise me as well, but you know, I think these games are a good representation of that. But with that out of the way, I'm reobebo, guys, and peace out.